Adolf Hitler is a name that echoes through history, often associated with the atrocities of World War II and the Holocaust. While much is known about his role as the Führer of Nazi Germany, there are aspects of his life that remain less familiar to the general public. Here are 10 lesser-known facts about Adolf Hitler that reveal more about the man behind the infamous legacy. Fact 1. Before becoming the leader of the Nazi Party, Hitler had dreams of a very different career. He was passionate about art from a young age and aspired to become a professional artist. In 1907 and again in 1908, he applied to the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. However, he was rejected both times, with the Academy citing his lack of talent in human figure drawing. This rejection deeply affected him and is often seen as a pivotal moment in his life, steering him away from art and towards politics. Fact 2. While Hitler's artistic dreams were dashed, his interest in architecture remained strong throughout his life. He had a profound appreciation for grand architectural designs and often sketched buildings in his spare time. His love for architecture was evident in the Nazi regime's architectural ambitions, particularly in the redesign of Berlin, which he envisioned as the grand capital of the world, to be called Welthauptstadt Germania. He worked closely with architects like Albert Speer to bring these visions to life, although many of these projects never came to fruition due to the war. Fact 3. Hitler's dietary habits also reflected his complex personality. Towards the later years of his life, Hitler adopted a mostly vegetarian diet. He was known to have a strong aversion to meat, which he claimed was due to his compassion for animals. However, his diet was also influenced by his various health problems. His personal chef confirmed that Hitler often ate meals composed of mashed potatoes, vegetable broths, and simple, meat-free dishes. It's interesting to note that despite his vegetarianism, he never promoted it as part of Nazi ideology. Fact 4. In November 1923, Hitler attempted a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch in Munich, aiming to overthrow the Weimar Republic. The coup failed, and Hitler was arrested and charged with treason. Sentenced to 5 years in Landsberg prison, Hitler used his time behind bars to dictate his autobiographical manifesto, Mein Kampf, My Struggle, to his deputy, Rudolf Hess. Though he was sentenced to a lengthy term, Hitler served only 8 months before being released on parole. His time in prison was relatively comfortable, with access to visitors and ample time to write, which allowed him to refine his ideas that would later shape Nazi ideology. Fact 5. Despite his later image as a dictator who led Germany into devastation, Hitler was a decorated soldier during World War I. Serving as a messenger on the Western Front, a dangerous role that required running between trenches under heavy fire, Hitler was awarded the Iron Cross, second class in 1914. Remarkably, in 1918, he received the Iron Cross, first class, a rare honor for someone of his rank, largely due to the recommendation of a Jewish superior officer, Lieutenant Hugo Gutmann. This recognition for bravery stood in stark contrast to the extreme anti-Semitic ideology he would later propagate. Fact 6. Hitler's health was a closely guarded secret, but historical evidence suggests that he suffered from a range of medical issues. He experienced severe gastrointestinal problems, insomnia, and possibly Parkinson's disease in his later years. Hitler was also known to have uncontrollable tics and tremors, which became more pronounced as the war dragged on. To manage his health, Hitler relied heavily on a cocktail of drugs administered by his personal physician, Dr. Theodor Morell. These included amphetamines, barbiturates, and various other substances, leading some historians to speculate that his increasingly erratic behavior was partly due to drug dependency. Fact 7. Although he projected an image of strength and discipline, Hitler was notoriously neglectful of his personal hygiene. He had a strong aversion to bathing, often going days without washing, and his dental hygiene was similarly poor. His fear of dentists led to severe dental problems, including chronic bad breath and decaying teeth, which were only addressed reluctantly and often too late. This aspect of his personal life was kept hidden from the public, as it contrasted sharply with the meticulous, almost obsessive image of order and cleanliness that the Nazi regime sought to promote. Fact 8. One of the more surprising aspects of Hitler's personality was his admiration for Walt Disney. Despite his hatred for American culture, Hitler was a fan of Disney films, particularly Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which he reportedly watched multiple times. He even collected Disney memorabilia, including illustrations and sketches. Hitler saw Disney as a master of propaganda and appreciated the storytelling techniques used in the animations, although his admiration for Disney didn't translate into leniency towards the United States. Fact 9. Hitler's daily routine was as unconventional as his personality. He was a night owl, often staying up late into the night discussing plans and strategies with his inner circle or watching movies. He would then sleep until late morning or early afternoon. This irregular schedule meant that many important decisions were made during late-night meetings, often when Hitler was in an increasingly fatigued and irritable state. His nocturnal habits also isolated him from much of the daily running of the government, leaving much of the day-to-day decision-making to his subordinates. Fact 10. The infamous Nazi salute, with its accompanying Heil Hitler greeting, was not an original invention of Hitler. The salute was adapted from the Roman salute, popularized by Italian fascists under Benito Mussolini. The Nazis adopted and modified it to create a sense of unity and discipline within their ranks. The salute became a compulsory gesture in Nazi Germany, symbolizing loyalty to Hitler and the regime. Interestingly, Hitler himself was initially hesitant about the salute, preferring the traditional military salute, but he eventually embraced it as a powerful tool of propaganda and control. These 10 facts shed light on the complexities and contradictions of Adolf Hitler's personality and life. While these details offer a deeper understanding of his character, it's essential never to lose sight of the immense suffering and devastation he caused. History remembers Hitler not for these lesser-known facts, but for the catastrophic impact of his actions on millions of lives.